I'm really looking forward to being with Walter Brueggemann at Rochester College this June for streaming. I remember reading Dr. Brueggemann's book, Theology of the Old Testament. And in that book, he describes these two traditions in the life of Israel. One is the Levitical tradition, this call to purity and holiness. And the other is the prophetic tradition, the tradition of justice. And how Dr. Brueggemann in that book talks about, and I quote here, that these two traditions live in a profound tension with each other. That Israel had in front of it two different ways of understanding what it means to be upright or righteous before God. And that depending on which tradition you look through, what God wants and what God demands, be that mercy or be that sacrifice, could be very, very different. And I remember reading that and a light bulb going off, because what Dr. Brueggemann was describing was the same thing I was seeing in the psychological research that I was doing and looking through. The same tension between mercy and sacrifice in the minds, in the hearts, and in the lived experience of churches trying to be a missional community, trying to live out the call to be a people of welcome and hospitality, and that they were struggling with the very same tension that Walter Brueggemann was describing in his book. And at that minute, I kind of realized that this conversation was much bigger than anything I was just observing in the psychological literature, that this was a big issue that the church needed to wrestle with. And so that culminated in the book, Unclean. So one of the things I'm really excited about this summer is kind of bringing that psychological research, that psychological perspective in conversation with one of the world's leading biblical scholars, Walter Brueggemann, and invite all of you as people interested in building missional communities into that conversation to understand what it means that God desires mercy and not sacrifice. We'll see you this June at streaming.